Love is Blind Season 9 is somehow still happening, and unfortunately, these men still haven't redeemed themselves. Let's get into it. Hey y'all, it's Nay. Welcome back to my little corner of YouTube. This video will contain spoilers for Love is Blind Season 9, episodes 7 through 9, so if you haven't seen them yet and you do not want spoilers, save this video and come back after you do. You are about to hear my thoughts on episodes 7 through 9, but of course I want to hear yours, so feel free to drop your thoughts below if you do want to participate in the conversation, and give this video a like and a hype before you go. Also, shout out to those of you who have been checking out my first Vlogtober video. The next video is gonna be out this Friday, and I'm ranking season 1 of Are You Afraid of the Dark episodes from the worst to the best. So if you like that show as a kid, then you might want to check out that video. Every single episode that I watch, I lose more and more and more respect for Edmund. Now, I happen to agree with Kalybriah on this pod mixer situation, but y'all let me know if both of us are just Delulu and it's not that big of a deal. We have seen Kalybriah so many times in the short amount of episodes that we've seen with them together dote on Edmund and love on Edmund and reassure Edmund, and he had the nerve to say, it would be really nice to hear that I'm perfect, even if you know it's not true. It'd be really nice to hear it.
No, Nick is perfect.
No, I'm not
You're
perfect.
You're actually right.
I'm not perfect.
Just to be able to hear that would be crazy. Even though you're not, just to hear it. I know you're fucking lucky.
To hear what?
Oh, he perfect.
At this point, Edmund, you might want to tread lightly. You are pushing Kalybriah's final button. And to be honest, you're lucky that she didn't pop off when you were throwing a tantrum about not getting to have sex with her during the honeymoon. Because what's perfection about that? Edmund cannot emotionally regulate himself, and he's expecting Kalybriah to do it for him. Lola actually mentioned this in, I believe it was the last batch of episodes. Kalybriah is not your mother. It's not her job to mother you. You should have already been raised. By the time you come into a relationship ready for marriage, you should have already been raised. Kalybriah was not put on this earth to stabilize Edmund and coddle him and tell him how perfect he is and tell him he's doing a good job. That's not her job. That is not her job as a wife to do. Yes, you want a supportive partner, but you want her to tell you that you're perfect when you're not, like, so you want her to lie to you is basically what you're saying. Then he says something about, well, you don't even tell me that I'm nice, which is very ironic because a few days ago he was crying about the fact that he's too nice, and he knows that she thinks that. And then when y'all get into it, because how could you not get into it about something like this, you give her the folded arm 5-year-old treatment. Well, I'm just not gonna look at you then. I'm listening, I'm just not gonna look at you.
I'm not. I know, but you can keep talking to me.
No,
I'm not
Edmund,
looking.
I don't want to.
I'm gonna listen to you. I'm being serious. I'll look at
If you can't be an adult and look at me and have a conversation, I'm not going to talk to you.
I cannot think of a better word than tantrum. Edmund throws tantrums, and it's exhausting for me as a viewer. So I know that Kalybriah she gotta be on her last nerve. At this point, Kalybriah is doomed to live a life of Edmund throwing tantrums. And then they talk about having kids. His mama talk about he might want to finally have kids. So you gonna have your adult ass husband throwing a tantrum and your 3-year-old throwing a tantrum at the same time? Get real. Y'all remember in my commentary on episodes 1 through 3, I said, ooh, it kind of worries me that, it didn't worry me that Edmund was so emotional, but it worried me that he was expecting Kalybriah to take on a caregiver role and a caretaker role for him. I don't like when black women who are on reality TV shows get placed in the role of being the caregiver for whoever, for the man, for the friends, for the enemies. I don't like when black women get placed in a role of being a caregiver. And I said I didn't like that because black women are often placed in that role by society as a whole. And I hate that I was right about that, because that's exactly what Edmund is doing. He's putting her in the role of a caregiver. She's not your caregiver.
How many times have I told you that anytime I'm upset, I don't want to hear how you love me and you need me. I want a solution to the problem.
Bars. Because why should someone have to deal with someone only being a problem in the relationship and never coming with a solution? Never coming with a, hey, I understood my fault in this. He just resorts to it. It's very bizarre. What is he, 29? That he just resorts to a tantrum. And honestly, if Edmund himself doesn't get her to think twice about going through with this marriage, his mama should, because she's very messy.
I got one daughter-in-law that'll run cry and tell my son, this one here, I think she'll be ready to talk shit to me. I got this, I can hold my own. There were some daughter-in-laws, they go rat me out to my son. Can't stand it. Don't go rat me out on my son.
She probably torments her daughter-in-laws and then tries to brush it under the rug or tell her sons that they're overreacting. Because why would you say something like that? You want her to be able to hold her own? Why does she have to hold anything? She's gonna be married to your son, not you. You shouldn't be dishing out anything for her to have to hold. And again, it's another example of someone expecting her to hold her own and give out all of this emotional support and get none in return. It's like his mom is planning on being difficult or something. Because I just don't understand why you would say that unless you know that you about to be a monster-in-law. His mom also said that she took a look at Kalybriah's Instagram and she wasn't really a fan of it. And when I did the cast reveal, I said, oh, it looked like Kalybriah might be an ex-baddie, you know, because she dresses like a baddie. I don't mean in her temperament or in her personality, but I mean she dresses like a baddie. I mean, body is tea. So, hey. If I look like that, I'd probably dress like a baddie too. But, you know what I mean? So I got that impression. I understand why his mom might be a little put off by that. But it's the way that she said it. She said to Edmund, yeah, well, you know, all the girls that you dated before have been so nice.
Young ladies I've known you to be, well, you picked some good ones. I can't just go letting just anybody have y'all because they say, hey.
Hello. To me, in the context of what they were talking about, I took that as nice looking. And I took that to mean maybe they dress more modestly, maybe they're more conservative. That's not Kalybriah, and y'all not about to force her to be like that anyway. If she wants to dress that way, then she can dress that way. Your son should accept if he wants to marry her, and it doesn't really matter if the mom accepts it or not. She has no say. I will say I do think that gifts are one of Edmund's love language. We've seen him buy her shoes before. He bought her a pair of skates. Beautiful skates, by the way. I think they're so cute. And I actually really like that because acts of service and gift giving and receiving gifts are my top 2 love languages. So I like that about him. But there aren't enough gifts in the world for me to have to deal with a grown man hiding in my kitchen cabinets.
Look, this is a cat. Oh, no, I can't close it. I might need your help.
You need me to close it?
On to Joe and Madison. I really hated to see Madison crying on that patio when they were in Mexico. It was like a beautiful nightmare. Beautiful because they're in paradise, the ocean waves are there. Nightmare because of this.
No, I needed to get away from you for a second.
Okay, well, I can hear you crying.
Well, then why don't you come out here and check on
I'm
me?
in bed.
Joe was like, yeah, actually, could you shut up? Because I'm trying to sleep and I can hear you crying. And she's like, I can't hear you over the ocean waves. It was just such a strange interaction. And we are now into an hour, I would guess, after she got back from this mixer. And he's still using the excuse that he just woke up.
Crying on the patio and you hear me and you still just get in bed and you don't care.
Just fucking woke up, and then it just feels like it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, there's a lot.
And the next day, he still can't look production in the eyes. You know what's super frustrating as a woman? To have a, I don't know what to do because you didn't tell me type of man.
What do you need from me?
Joe, I've told you 6 times.
Because right now, it's, I didn't know how to show up for you emotionally because you didn't tell me. And 5 years from now, it's going to be, I didn't know that you needed help cleaning the house. You didn't tell me. I didn't know what to do with the kids today. You didn't tell me. If you could not navigate and figure out the small things in our relationship, then why would I ask you to do anything? What do I have you for if I'm always going to be the one dishing out the task and telling you what you need to do next? Again, like I'm your mother. And then as a woman, you're going to be questioning, why am I in a partnership-less partnership? Why am I a married single mom? And the crazy thing is, his family seems fairly normal to me, so I really don't know what the, well, actually I do know what it is. He's not attracted to her and now he's treating her poorly. That makes him shitty, but I just don't understand how it seems like he comes from such a good family and yet that's his mindset. And honestly, watching her try to give him another chance was hard.
Get back to the feeling that we had in the pods and the feeling we had here.
I know. It's like, that's the thing too. It's like, it's not just been in the pods, you know? It's,
no, girl, he said what he meant, in the pods. You know why? Because in the pods was before he saw you. And that's the only thing that has changed in your dynamic is that he knows what you look like now. And she's still over here gossiping with the girls. Yeah, the sex is so good. How does she not realize that he's using her for sex? Like, it's so, I don't know. I guess in the moment, in all the emotions, you don't see that. But it's so clear to all of us that, no, he clearly does not like her and he's using her while he can. He's only telling you he loves you during sex. He's telling you that he wants to get you pregnant during sex because he thinks it sounds hot. And you are ignoring every single one of these red flags. This man has self-help books and has not been self-helped yet. And when they were arguing in the apartment, he was like, yeah, I'm really actually kind of shocked that you still like me because I came up with this elaborate scheme to get drunk and treat you terribly so that you wouldn't like me, and somehow you're still here. I'm actually like, it's shocking to me that you're still here. Are you sure that you still like me? Because I need you to hate me a little more because that was part of my plan.
like, I'm too sure about you?
You're so sure.
You guys are what, 4 days into this and you've already had to sleep in separate rooms and you've already taken your ring off. the red flags are waving themselves at this point. Annie is still going on about this mountain man situation. And this is exactly what I was talking about when I said it seems like she's been fed this picture, this conservative picture of what a man should be. And it turns out that that idea came from her dad.
Would he say that's your criteria? A big manly man?
No, like not mine, but I would say that's his criteria. Like
For you.
me.
Now, I'm really interested to see what happens once Nick meets Annie's family, because Nick is not that guy. And he's never going to be that guy. He might live in the mountains, but he's not a mountain man. Nick's family seems nice enough, though. We met his mama, who we've heard so much about. Now, they get into their first argument, and it's because Annie feels like she's more invested than Nick. I tend to agree with her, and we all know why. To Nick's point, though, the whole point of the experiment is to give it the full time to go through it and see if it's something that you want to do and say yes at the altar. So when he says, well, we still have 3 weeks left, he's right to say that because you do still have 3 weeks left. And then Annie's like, well, look, why are you still trying to figure it out over these next 3 weeks? I just want to let you know that I don't need your ass.
I don't need you in my life. Like, you are not somebody that I need. You're not somebody that has to be there. Like, you are not somebody that my life will
you like that.
No, but you are not somebody that my life will fall apart, like, if you're not in it.
And he's like, look, I don't really too much want you either, but we gonna do this thing. And she also was putting words in his mouth, so I have to agree with him on that too.
You're the one that doesn't think that you love me as much as I love you.
Putting those words in my mouth, I did
You
not say
literally,
those
that's literally what
words.
you
He never said that, and maybe she's right. She just might be looking for an out because she realized she's not really that into this, even though she's saying that she is. Maybe she's tired of trying to convince herself that this is the man of her dreams because he's not the man of her dreams. Anton and Allie still seem like an odd mix to me. Something about them since the very beginning, it just doesn't, it's not working with me. And I know it doesn't have to work with me, but it's not. And maybe it's because I was picking up on the vibes that 4 short months ago, obviously at the time of filming, Anton was out partying all across Denver. He was a regular old city boy.
Just one question about the bachelor's party. They're not going to a strip club, right?
Girl, I don't know.
Because Anton likes strip clubs and he goes with Joseph.
So do they party a lot together still? Like here in Denver?
He's not single anymore.
Right.
When he was single, when they were single.
But that was like 4 months ago, right? Because you guys have been together for 4 months.
Yeah. But before that, they party a lot.
And Allie is definitely not about that life. And Allie's also pointing out the fact, hey, I've met his family and I'm only meeting friends and I don't even like what I'm hearing from the friends. And now Allie's thinking back to these mimosas they had after working a 12-hour shift. And she's like, maybe this man does like to drink a lot.
Cheers to mimosas at 8 in the morning.
Post-nursing shift or post-driving shift.
And the best friend only slowed down because he got a girlfriend who forced him to slow down because she isn't about that life either. And now I'm wondering if the only reason he decided to go on this show is because maybe he sees his friends around him starting to settle down and he's like, shit, I'm about to get left in the dust. Let me figure this out. I don't know how long the process is from when you sign up for Love is Blind to when you get the notice that you're going on and all of that. But 4 months sounds like that could be a pretty good time. So maybe his friend started dating a girl. He said, look, we're getting serious. He said, shit, I better get serious. He signed up for Love is Blind. Who knows? Versus him actually being ready for it. And again, money is going to continue to be an issue in this relationship. And right now, I can't tell if Anton is the type of man that's going to give his wife a hard time about spending money, but he actually has it. He just wants to make it hard. Or if he actually doesn't have it like that, and Allie is getting ready to drain his savings account. Because he's like, look, I want to combine our money. And she's like, I don't want you knowing what I'm spending. And I think there's some positives to keeping your bank account separate. Last but not least of the couples, we have Sparkle, Megan, and Jordan. I also still don't know how I feel about these two. From the very beginning, I also didn't think they were really a good match, but she definitely still made the correct choice in not choosing Mike because he was nobody's match. They are growing on me more than Anton and Allie, I'll say that. But Megan does want to be this power couple. You could tell she's the type of person that wants to have that aesthetically pleasing power couple dynamic. And Jordan is just not the person to give that to her. Mike would have been the person to give that to her, actually. And again, money is going to come up in this relationship a lot because Megan got it like that, just to be frank. She over here talking about spending $2 million on a house, and Jordan is like, 2 million what? 2 million what exactly? 2 million years before you pay it off? Because who's spending that much money? And the house that they looked at is a 6-bedroom house, which on the surface sounds like a lot, but actually I think that's a pretty standard amount of rooms for a house. I realize most people don't have it like that. I don't have it like that. But that is like a pretty standard amount of rooms for a family, because think about it, you're gonna have master bedroom, they already have 1 son, so his room, that's 2, 1 guest bedroom, that's 3, so you already took out half the rooms, an office, that's 4, if they're gonna have another kid, 5th bedroom, and then you have a spare that you'll also probably use for a guest or if you have another kid. And so 6 bedrooms is really not that many when you start talking about multiple children and wanting to have an office and having place for people to sleep when they come over. 6 bedrooms is really not that much. And $2 million for 6 bedrooms is top. In California, in LA, they selling 1 bedroom houses for $1 million. $1 million is like the base that you're gonna pay in LA. So doesn't really sound that crazy to me. And I understand why Jordan is like, this is too much house for us, especially after we see his very humble 1 bedroom. Nice 1 bedroom, but you know, he let his son have the bedroom as he should, and he uses the living room as his bedroom. And so he's not really about the big flashy. He said that. He just wants to buy Luca Legos and keep it pushing. But I mean, when you're engaged to someone named Sparkle Megan, it's right there in the name. Sparkle, luxury, you know. She's kind of out there with the stuff that she buys. And he even said, oh, if you get a $2 million house, you're definitely going to want to put nice furniture in it. You're not putting IKEA in it. I don't really understand the hate that IKEA gets. IKEA has really nice furniture. Y'all tripping. So yeah, I really do think Jordan is going to struggle with that a little bit because he said he's used to being the provider, and he's just not going to be the provider in this relationship, at least not monetarily. Also, I thought that Luca's little diabetes dinosaur was the cutest thing ever. How cute is that one of his friends made that for him? Now, when it comes to Luca, there is something I'm questioning that Jordan said, and it's the fact that he presented himself as a single father. And now we find out that he's in fact not a single father. Him and Luca's mom share 50-50 custody.
You do have Luca half the time then?
Yeah, it's about 50-50.
Now look, I realize that this is just a personal thing for me. It's a trigger I have. It's trauma I have. And so I don't expect anyone else to feel this way. I don't expect this to be a, how dare he did that. I'm just, you know, it's my channel. I share my own personal stories sometimes. And so I actually find it very offensive when people call themselves single parents and they aren't single parents. And that's because I grew up with a single mom. And until you've had to do it alone, actually alone, you have no idea how hard it is. There are nights that I watch my mom cry because, you know, just the weight of it and trying to make ends meet and having no help from the other parent. There is no 50-50. It's 110% of the time. And even I don't know what it's like to be a single parent, right? I only know it from the child's point of view. But I saw that weight. I was able to see that weight on my mom. And as some of you know, there was a point where we were literally homeless. I'm talking a step away from the street homeless, living in homeless shelters homeless. And so don't call yourself a single parent if you've never been through something like that and you literally could not go to the other person and say, hey, it's very bad right now, I need help. If you've never been there, then you're a co-parent, not a single parent. And just say that. It's okay, you know, but just say it. And again, that's my trigger, that's my trauma to deal with, but it is offensive to me. Megan did get to meet Luca's mom off cam. She also, by the time we get to the next batch of episodes, she's probably gonna have met Luca off cam. She said that it went great, so that's good to hear. When they met Megan's family, her mom and sister came with all these balloons and an engagement ring balloon. And now I'm understanding the sparkle within Sparkle Megan. It's clear where she got it from. She has it honest. Her family is very sparkly. And I think it's so cute. Also, can I say I'm just happy I got my own personal wish out of this. I said that I wanted to see Jordan drink this chicken breast shake, and we got to see it, and it was great.
We're just gonna do 8 ounces of chicken. Right about there. Put a little packet of Crystal Light in.
As I said, y'all know I'm in the gym. I know that people do that as a way to get their protein quick and get a lot of it. You're never going to catch me do that. Protein powder me any day. I'm not drinking chicken breast. That's actually disgusting. And I don't know why he put Crystal Light in it and the water was mixed in and it was faucet water at that. No thank you. It was every bit as disgusting as I expected it to be. But more power to them. Let's briefly talk about this mixer. First off, I don't know why they are renting out these huge venues for like 15 people. It looks so empty. Patrick and Anna have their little sit down and Patrick is like, you were my number one. If you wouldn't have left, it would have been me and you to the end. And I'm on Anna's side when she says, yeah, that can't possibly be true. If I was truly your number one and you were about to pick me, how is it then that as soon as I left, you were able to go tell another woman that you love her and propose to her? It couldn't have been that serious. And I agree with her. Patrick just wants to say that because Patrick just wants to say that. Unless he just wanted to get married to somebody on this show, then I don't see how two things can be true at once. That said, I still don't think that him and Anna would have been a good match. I stand by what I originally said. They both wanted to make it work because of the fact that they found out they were both Chinese. That wasn't real attraction. Also, Casey, that's her name, right? I'm forgetting the girl's name. Casey deciding to keep the ring is crazy.
I asked her for the ring back and she was like, no, you act like you're the only one that's hurt in this situation. I'm going to keep the ring. Oh my gosh.
Especially if it happened the way that Patrick said it. Even if it didn't happen the way he said it happened, it's still crazy. But I couldn't help but notice that she wasn't at that mixer, which makes me wonder, is she gonna show up at the reunion? Because she needs to be at the reunion. She doesn't get to act like this didn't happen. And Nick and Vanessa need to ask her about it. And if she doesn't want to show up in person, we know that they have the ability to do a Zoom call. Hop on Teams, hop on Discord, something. I'm leaving this reunion with something. Blake also wasn't at the mixer, and so I wonder if he's gonna show up at the reunion. Again, people falling out left and right in this season. Brendan is still down bad at this pod mixer, and I forget who was talking to him about it, but they were like, yeah, I've seen Annie and Nick together and they mesh better than you and Annie would, so it really all worked out the way that they were supposed to and the way that's for the best. And Brendan's like, nah, I just can't see it.
Trying to envision you and her, and it doesn't make sense. Like, I see her and Nick interact and they're both so quirky together.
Listen, though, I feel like it worked.
But I can see it. Him and Annie would not have been a good mix. Speaking of Nick, no one seems to like him. And I caught on to that when they were still in the pods, that not many of the men had a good relationship with him. We could tell that from the way that they reacted when he walked in being like, we're getting engaged, and nobody was happy. But apparently it runs a little bit deeper than that, because Kate was saying, yeah, nobody likes him. He's fake. They think he's an opportunist. Oh, tell us more. And then Joe finally says something I agree with.
Dude, Nick is just kind of a guy that great guy, some might say, but I don't fuck with him too much.
He said it with his entire chest. I started to hear Big Sean playing.
Bitch, I don't give a fuck about you or anything that you do.
Nick and Kate also have their conversation, and Kate is saying, the reason I felt so blindsided is because you told me in the pods that you loved me and you were not there with Annie, and you weren't going to get there with Annie, and then 48 hours later you were proposing to her, and that's why I felt blindsided. And Nick is saying, I never told you that.
48 hours ago, A, you told me you loved me, and B, you said there was no chance that that was happening.
I did not ever say I can't get there with her. I never said that.
You did say that.
So y'all know I went back to get the receipts on that.
I love you, Kate. I really do mean that. Like, I don't say that lightly. I never have ever before. But I am so in love with you and in love with your soul.
Turns out he didn't say it. Or who knows, maybe we just didn't see it. Maybe it didn't make the cut. And just to clarify, he absolutely told her that he loved her. The piece that I think he's arguing and the piece that I didn't see, and I rewatched their scenes in multiple episodes, he didn't say the piece about, and I don't see myself getting there with someone else. And so he could have not said it, or it could have been left out. Don't know, but I'm saying that we didn't see him say that. I think we still have 2 more episodes before the weddings. That feels like that's how it's going to roll out. We have episodes 10, 11, and then 12. I think it's going to be probably an hour-long wedding episode. And so I think what's going to happen is we're going to meet some more friends and family. Then we're going to have the bachelorettes. Then the weddings, and then the week after that or whenever is going to be the reunion. And so as I mentioned before, as always, we're going to be watching the reunion together. Whenever that's announced, we'll get around to it. I am also going to be holding a movie night on Discord for my Vlogtober. It's going to be a scary/horror movie night. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned to the community tab. I'll be announcing which movie we're watching soon. And I'm really waiting on the Love is Blind reunion announcement so that I can decide when I'm going to do that. Because I have a tentative date for that, but I want to see when I'm going to do that. They might end up falling back to back. We'll see what happens. Until then, I'm going to, as always, get this edited, get it out to you as soon as possible. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye. Do I have my flag? Allie is getting ready to trade. Was out partying. And the house that they looked at is a $6 million. Ooh, I mean, she might have it like that too. What is it called when they do the parent thing? Insert, I don't fuck with you.
This is not a test.